Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Tough emotional loss on Saturday. Um, I thought our coaching staff did a tremendous job getting our guys ready. I thought our guys were prepared, and we had really good schemes in place, game plans in all three phases. Proud of our team. Thought we played really, really hard. We competed. We're showing signs of growth. I think that's clear. I think we're embracing the next play attitude that we've really stressed since the Idaho game. Uh, did a really nice job of handling a tough travel schedule, going all the way west to Las Cruces and coming back as far east as we can go to Boone. Thought they did a really nice job handling that. And I think we're showing signs of maturity. You know, obviously the first series of the game didn't go the way we wanted it to. 3 plays and we throw a pick. Really wasn't a bad play by Brandon as much as it was a great play by their defensive end. So we get down the whole 7-0, been able to fight back and take the game into overtime and absolutely have a chance to win. We're beat up a little bit right now, and we were beat up on Saturday. Had a lot of guys step up and fill in and made plays. Just quick review, special teams wise, we played really solid, and we have for the most part all year, with the exception of the first half of Mississippi State. Jed Solomon did a great job, 7 for 7 for field goals and PATs. Kickoffs did a tremendous job. Jalen Harris, Jed had a great kick, and Jalen Harris made a tremendous play on the onside kick we did at the first play or at the opening of the second half. And then Ryan Kay for the second week in a row was really solid, 44.5 average, and we had really good operations and that's the second week in a row. Defensively, thought we did a good job holding App below their season average. They're really good rushing football, and they ran the ball on us more than we would liked, but we did a better job than most teams have against them. Thought we had some guys step up: Jamal Statham, Seth Callaway, Sam Levy. We were without Tyler Roberts, who's the heart and soul of our defense, our best player, been our most productive player on our whole football team. Thought those guys stepped up. LaMarcus Farmers played well for 2 weeks in a row. We have to tackle better. That's something that we didn't do a very good job of on Saturday afternoon. And we got to do a better job overall versus the run. We did limit their big plays, and we were really successful on third down. And offensively, looking back, this second week in a row, we've played good offensive football. I think we scored 93 points the last 2 weeks combined. App's very good on defense. Best defense in our league. I think they were number 7 in the country coming in. We had the highest yards against them. We had the highest, or tied for the highest point total. I think Adam told me the previous 6 group of 5 teams they played had scored a combined 43 points. We scored 41 in a single game. So we played with really good tempo, had 88 plays, 25 first downs, 0 offensive penalties, and played a lot of the game without Brandon Burks, who got banged up a little bit, and thought Flake stepped in and played really well. And Brandon Silvers, he gave us a chance. He had another productive day. He's got to eliminate the second interception was a really bad decision. He's got to eliminate that. I think he's maturing as a player. I think you're seeing that. He right after both turnovers, he came back and led scoring drives. So signs of him. Overall, disappointed in the outcome, but felt like we had a great shot. I felt like that all week. I thought our guys, I could see them. I could see us growing as a football team, and thought we had a good chance. Encouraged by our improvement the last 2 weeks. They're the best team we've seen in the league, without question. We had a lot of opportunities to win the game, but at the end of the day, we didn't. And there's a lot of reasons why we've lost 3 close games that we've got to get corrected. And moving on to Monroe, coming back home, seems like forever since we played at home. It's a good matchup. They're struggling a little bit, as well as we are. Both of us are hunting a quality win. Monroe's had Troy's number here the last several years, and that's something that we've got to change. Offensively, they're going to present a unique challenge for us. We haven't really played a team, maybe other than Idaho, that's a pass-first unit, and they're going to be a pass-first team. A lot of empty formations. They play a lot of unbalanced. Key players, they've got a really good receiving core. I think that's their best unit, probably maybe on their whole football team, but definitely on offense. They're going to get their leading receiver back, Caesar. I may not pronounce that right, but he played earlier in the year, was their leading receiver, averaged about 90 yards per game. And then they've got a kid named Holly that's leading the team in receptions, is a good player. And their quarterback, Smith, is a guy that makes a lot of plays with his feet. As you know, those guys have given us a little bit of trouble this year. Defensively, they played good defense there for a long time. They play a unique style. 3-down team that really pressures, a lot of 5- and 6-man pressures, a lot of man coverage. Played Troy they've played Troy really well in the past. We played them last year at Kentucky. They did a nice job. We were able to win the game handily, but they did a really nice job against us defensively. They got some good players. Their nose tackle Johnson was an All-American candidate a couple years couple years in a row, first team all Sun Belt. Linebacker Hunter Kissinger is a guy that makes a ton of plays, and then they've got a kid that plays safety for them. They call it the hawk position, named Mitch Lane, that is a really good player and made a lot of tackles against us at Kentucky last year. So good challenge this week. Our guys are looking forward to it, and I think we'll bounce back and be able to put a third week in a row of playing really good football. Questions?
Changing up the offensive line from week to week, it seems like. Is that a matchup type thing, especially against the defense that had 5 sacks against Troy last year?
Sure. Yeah, you talking about last week while we switched it up? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we felt like we had to get when we play against a team that's got a real heavy nose guard. That we have to put Dalton back there at center, and Dalton did a nice job directing traffic. He's been our most consistent offensive lineman all year. He and Tony Garcia have played. And the rest of it is just we kind of going with the hot hand. There's been some hits and some misses, and so continuity is something that we haven't found, and we're just rewarding guys that practice well. Last week we started Dalton at center. Xavier Fields started at right guard, and Boring started at left guard. This week, Crumedy will have a chance to get in there and play. Luke Lawrence, we played okay at guard. I think we can play better. And if the Crumedy and Luke Lawrence or if any of those guys practice better, Jay Dye, then they'll play in the game.
What's the status of Brandon and Tyler?
Brandon will play. We got to do a good job taking care of him this week, but he'll play in the game and he'll play well. Tyler, cautiously optimistic. Thought there would be a chance he would play last week, but didn't progress as well as we would have liked. But we're cautiously optimistic. I think he'll be able to practice midweek.
You said it feels like forever ago since you guys were on the home turf. How excited are you and the team to get back in front of the home crowd?
Yeah, we're excited. And I'm looking forward to getting back and getting engaged with the student body this week and really reaching out to them and getting them here. And we need the local people here in the Troy and Dothan and Montgomery areas to come out and support us. The one thing is you're going to see an exciting game. All our games, especially at home, have come down to the last drive. Every game that we've played in the leagues come down to the last possession with the exception of New Mexico State. So you're going to see a competitive game. And I'm looking forward to I think our students are going to turn out again. We've got Military Appreciation Day, which is both my grandparents served, and we've got a lot of kids on our team that are military families. So I know our guys look forward to that as well.
A few weeks ago, you talked about how you didn't like how your team started off in the first half of games. You thought maybe it had something to do with pregame.
Yeah.
What have y'all changed over the past few weeks?
That's a good question. That's a good memory too. Going back 2 weeks ago, y'all are actually paying attention when I talk sometimes. Get y'all to talk to my wife over there. No, I tell you something that's really simple. We started treating pregame warm-ups like practice. I mean, really, we're coaching our guys hard during pregame warm-ups. We're putting more emphasis on it from an effort standpoint. We're making them actually break a sweat during pregame. So just a heavy emphasis on it. And I think that's led, even though we came out and we threw the pick on the first drive, our defense played well in the first quarter, and we were able to answer and come back and get 7 points rather quickly in that game. And we got off to a really good start against New Mexico State too. So that's working out.
You're real big on stacking. How important is it now to kind of tell the guys that, with bowl eligibility, you can't lose any games from here on out, but at the same time, how important is it to just tell them, keep playing, don't worry about the end in mind?
Yeah. Well, I think when you only won 2 games, you're not going to get a whole lot of credit for talking about bowl eligibility. Now, it's in the back of their kids' mind without question. I think what we've got to do is, and I think this has been a kind of a turn in our season and even though we lost Saturday, we played well. Okay, we played a quality opponent and played them well, and then we played a good football game at New Mexico State. And I think, and I talked to you all about it that Monday after Idaho, is not being outcome-oriented, being process-oriented, and use my word stacking. That's why I laugh, because the guys give me a hard time about using the word stacking all the time. But I think just being what's next. We talk about a next play attitude, and us focusing on what's next. For instance, our next is our team meeting, and we're going to review this game, and then after that, we're going to preview. Have a preview meeting on La Monroe. So us just focusing on here and now, I think, and not being worried about the outcome of the game. I think that's something we've got to do. And we've made steady improvement. If we can keep focusing on here and now, then I think we'll have an opportunity to potentially get hot here at the end of the year.
Can you pinpoint exactly when you think this team really flipped the switch and changed the mindset?
Well, I think it's to be determined. I was hopeful that we kind of clicked over in that second half of Mississippi State. We came home and we obviously hadn't. And a lot of that was that Brandon didn't play. But that week against New Mexico, or the week we were preparing for New Mexico State, I thought our guys took it more serious as far as preparation. I thought they practiced harder, and then they saw the results, and that carried over this week. And the look and the hurt that they had after that game, and not that you want to see your guys hurting after a game, but anytime you hurt, that means you invested a lot. And I could tell that our guys were visibly hurt about losing that football game, and that means that their emotional investment, their physical investment, the preparation involved in the game, there was a lot invested there, and it really hurt. And so I expect when I meet with them this afternoon, they're a group that's eager to go back and recapture that feeling in that locker room in Las Cruces.